Horrifying discovery. Inside this 2,000-year-old coffin shocks archaeological world. Most of the world's most fascinating mysteries are related to the enigmatic archaeological discoveries of ancient civilizations. Behind each of these discoveries lies an intriguing legend that captivates the imagination. For centuries, countless people have dedicated themselves to searching for and studying these findings at all costs, but have often come up empty-handed, which only adds to their mystery and allure. Among these discoveries, many intriguing artifacts have been uncovered, such as the entire weapon museum of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor who unified China into a single nation, a 2,000-year-old coffin containing the remains of a medieval king, and even these massive dinosaur fossils. Could these be evidence of some terrible mystery? All of this will be explored further in today's video. Stay tuned. 2,000-year-old red remains. For decades, archaeologists have conducted several excavations in the town of Herculaneum, Italy, and have made significant discoveries. Among these, they found a set of red-colored remains around 2,000 years old. The study of these unusual red remains has revealed some surprising secrets. Specifically, researchers have stated that the remains belong to a man who died around the age of 40-45. This man was one of thousands who perished in the catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. The volcanic tragedy buried a vast area of Roman lands, including the entire town of Pompeii near the volcano, which was engulfed in a massive cloud of volcanic ash. The people of Pompeii turned into living statues, frozen in various positions, some sleeping, some working, and some fleeing. Moreover, surrounding towns, including Herculaneum, were also severely damaged by the eruption. The red-colored remains found in Herculaneum were later identified by experts as belonging to a person who may have been trying to escape the eruption. According to experts, this man was close to escaping, as he was near the sea, or he might have been a soldier trying to rescue the townspeople. As for the reason behind the red color of the remains, experts explain that the color comes from the man's blood. The man suffered a painful death when a wooden roof collapsed on his head, crushing his skull. Afterward, the intense heat from the flowing lava when Mount Vesuvius erupted, along with the ash and debris, buried the man. Because the blood dried and stained the remains like a terrifying dye, the remains have retained their red appearance after being buried for nearly 2,000 years. The Weapon Museum of Qin Shi Huang. The tomb of Qin Shi Huang is considered the largest tomb in the world and one of the most unusual burial structures in human history. It lies deep underground on a hill in central China, where it has remained for over 2,000 years, surrounded by a moat filled with mercury. This tomb holds the secrets of the first emperor of China, who passed away in 210 BCE after unifying the 6 warring states into a single nation. The burial area K9801, located between the inner and outer walls, is about 200 meters southeast of the tomb. It is rectangular, with a length of 130 meters along the east-west axis and a width of 100 meters along the north-south axis, covering more than 13,000 square meters. It is the largest burial area discovered within the Qin Shi Huang mausoleum complex to date. Here, archaeologists have unearthed a large number of stone helmets and armor made from copper mesh, stacked on top of each other. The armor set includes 87 pieces, and there are 43 helmets. Experts have analyzed the technique used to craft the armor, which combined the technology of weapon making at the time. First, slate was crafted into a base for the armor, then shaped into armor plates, polished and assembled with copper thread to create each suit of armor. Through experimentation, it was found that making a single armor suit with 600 pieces of stone would take a worker an average of 8 hours a day for between 344 and 444 days to complete. This means it would take at least 1 year to make just one suit of armor. The helmets and armor in the burial area are estimated to be made from over 5 million pieces of stone, indicating the vast labor force required for their production. It is estimated that around 700,000 war prisoners and slaves participated in building this complex, waterproof structure, only to be killed afterward to keep the tomb's secrets hidden. Historical records state that in this vast underground complex, there were likely thousands of stone armor and helmets. Currently, 2 pits have been excavated, containing horse reins, chariot parts, bronze axes, arrows, and other military items. Therefore, experts suggest that this burial area of the Qin Shi Huang tomb should be referred to as the underground weapon repository. The skeleton of the crowned beauty. A group of stone quarry workers accidentally discovered a red-colored stone while working in the Turkey foothills of Tongliao City, Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, China. This led experts to uncover an ancient tomb containing the skeleton of a woman wearing a crown. According to the specialists, the tomb, which dates back to the Liao dynasty, 905 to 1125, was found about 30 meters long and buried over 10 meters underground. From the outside, the tomb resembled a stone house. Inside the tomb, there was a coffin that measured 1.5 meters tall, 2.6 meters wide, and 20 centimeters deep. The woman's skeleton was found fairly intact inside the coffin, as it had not been disturbed by tomb robbers for over 1,000 years. After studying the remains, experts determined that the woman had died at the age of 32 to 35. Based on the condition of the body and the artifacts found, they speculated that the woman might have come from a royal family. The coffin was made from cedar wood, with a detailed phoenix carving visible on its surface. When the lid was opened, archaeologists found the deceased lying on her back, wearing a golden crown and resting on a faint metal pillow, with her body covered by a large amount of silk fabric. Due to the lack of any artifacts identifying the tomb's owner, the experts faced difficulties in determining her identity. However, some specialists speculated that the tomb might belong to the daughter of Empress Shulu Ping, wife of Emperor Taizong of the Liao dynasty, the first emperor of the Khitan people. To confirm this, experts conducted DNA testing, and the results surprised scholars. When compared with DNA from the tombs of Emperor Taizong of Liao, it was confirmed that the crowned woman was indeed Princess Yu Lu Duogu, the sister of the king. The Mountain of Skeletons in the Ancient House. Archaeologists have recently discovered 97 sets of remains inside a 5,000-year-old small house in an ancient village in northeast China. There are many indications that the bodies of both adults and children from prehistoric times were piled inside this house before it was set on fire. The archaeological site where the house was found, now known as Hamen Mangha, was established before writing emerged in the area, during a time when people lived in small settlements and survived by farming combined with hunting. In addition to the skeletal remains, archaeologists found many pieces of ancient pottery, grinding tools, arrowheads, and spear tips. These artifacts provided valuable insights into the lifestyles of ancient people. The Hamen Mangha site is the largest and best-preserved prehistoric settlement in northeast China. During an excavation from April to November 2011, archaeologists uncovered the foundations of 29 houses. Most of these were simple single-room houses with one entrance and a fireplace. The house that contained the remains, named F40, measured only 20 square meters. Archaeologists reported that when they entered the house, they found many skeletons lying in disarray inside. The remains found in the northwest corner of the house were relatively complete, while those in the eastern corner mostly consisted of skulls, with few limb bones left. In the southern corner, the leg and arm bones were stacked in 2-3 layers, creating a chaotic pile. At some point, the entire house was set on fire. The fire caused the roof, including many wooden beams, to collapse, damaging some skulls and limb bones, which were charred and deformed. However, the remaining skeletons were not burned and have survived for 5,000 years, allowing modern scientists to study them. So, what happened to these remains? A team of anthropologists from Jilin University in China is currently studying the bones, trying to determine what happened to these people. Recently, the team published a report with their findings in the Jilin University Weekly. According to their research, it appears that the people in the house died due to a prehistoric disaster, possibly a plague, which led to their bodies being stacked on top of each other. It also seems that the number of deaths was so large and the victims perished so quickly that it overwhelmed the surviving community's ability to bury the bodies. Archaeologists found that half of the remains belonged to individuals aged 19 to 35, with no remains of older individuals. Dinosaur bone fossils. In Russia, 1982. In 1982, while traveling along the Volga River, a Soviet scientist discovered several fossilized bones embedded in stone. These were vertebrae from a massive dinosaur that had become fossilized in rock, Another scientist determined that the vertebrae belonged to a sauropod, a type of dinosaur known for its gigantic neck. Paleontologists identified the relationship of this giant dinosaur to the South American titanosaurids, which were responsible for producing the largest dinosaur species in Earth's history, Argentinosaurus. Scientists were able to determine that this particular dinosaur was one of the earliest sauropod species on the planet, appearing about 130 to 136 million years ago. Furthermore, based on the size of two vertebrae from other dinosaurs of the same genus, they estimated that the dinosaur could have been 17 meters long and weighed 17 tons. However, it was not the largest representative of its family, but rather one of the biggest dinosaurs found in Russia. These dinosaurs consumed stones, known as stomach stones, to aid in digestion. Typically, such dinosaurs traveled in herds, but the question remains, why did this particular dinosaur become separated from its herd? This mystery continues to baffle archaeologists, who are still trying to find answers. Headless human remains. Archaeologists uncovered a set of human remains in a sacrificial pit at the Qin Shi Huang Archaeological Site in Ziyuan, Henan Province, China. This pit dates back to the Shang Dynasty, 1600 to 1046 BCE. What was particularly unusual about this discovery was that the remains had been decapitated and buried in a kneeling position facing north, with the arms crossed in front. The remains were relatively well preserved and positioned in a shape resembling the Chinese character Kan from the Oracle bone script. Oracle bone script is an ancient form of Chinese writing inscribed on turtle shells and animal bones. It is the earliest known form of Chinese characters and one of the oldest complete scripts in the country. Based on the research on Oracle bone script excavated from the site of Yin ruins, scholars found that sacrificial practices were very common during the Shang Dynasty. Pictographs such as Shi, Tan, and Kan were used to describe different sacrificial rituals. Kan specifically refers to the act of offering human or animal sacrifices by burying them in pits. While most sacrificial remains discovered so far were found in a lying position, experts suggest that, based on the Oracle bone inscriptions, the kneeling Kan sacrifice might have been more common during that period. This is an intriguing detail that might surprise many, as it is not widely known. The massive treasure in the tomb of the Aztec king. Located in the ancient capital of the Aztec civilization, Tenochtitlan, the Templo Mayor ruins were the main temple of the Aztecs and have become legendary as the Empire of Warriors. According to ancient origins, scientists recently discovered an ancient treasure that included the most bizarre offerings: 180 coral branches, 165 red starfish, jaguars, wolves, and eagles, all dressed as Aztec warriors, adorned with precious jewelry. The research team, led by the National Institute of Anthropology and History of Mexico, believes that Aztec priests sealed and buried these items, including the warrior beasts, around 520 years ago as part of a strange sacrificial ceremony for someone of great importance. However, the warrior beasts still attract the most attention, especially a jaguar gripping an eagle and a fierce wolf, both dressed in warrior attire with an atlatl spear beside them, bronze bells tied around their ankles, carved wooden discs on their belts, and various other precious ornaments. According to Reuters, Spanish records note that burial rituals for three Aztec kings, who reigned from 1469 to 1502, involved the cremated remains of all three kings being buried with luxurious items, alongside the hearts of enslaved individuals who had been sacrificed in or near the Templo Mayor's circular platform. According to Joyce Marcus, an expert in ancient Mexican culture from the University of Michigan, these recent offerings may be an important discovery related to the tomb of Aztec king Ahuitzotl. This discovery could shed light on the worldview of the Aztecs and their complex ritual systems, which served to sanctify their conquests. The blackened bones in the ancient Ming tomb. In March 2017, workers at a construction site for a sewer in Taikang County, Henan Province, China, accidentally uncovered an ancient tomb while operating an excavator. After being notified, archaeologists arrived at the site to investigate and confirmed that it was a tomb from the Ming Dynasty. The tomb had been severely damaged due to the excavator's impact, and even two coffins had been displaced. When the coffins were opened, the experts were shocked to find the bodies perfectly preserved, as if they had just died recently. However, shortly after, the two corpses suddenly turned black. This phenomenon baffled the experts and remains a mystery. Archaeologists then excavated artifacts from the site in an effort to identify the tomb's occupant. After studying the artifacts, they determined that the tomb belonged to a local man named Guo Pa. During his life, Guo Pa had served as the Right Grand Inspector in the Ming Dynasty court. According to the History of Culture in Taikang County, Guo Pa was recorded as a scholar during the reign of Emperor Ming Hui. He was a fair and honest official, so much so that he earned the nickname Bao Zheng of the Ming Dynasty, a reference to a famous upright official in Chinese history. However, the reason why the two corpses turned an unusual black color remains unexplained, and it has become a mystery in Chinese archaeology to this day. 300-year-old remains in China. Recently, Chinese archaeologists discovered 3 corpses in the Xiangcheng area of Henan Province, central China. Among the 3, one corpse was perfectly preserved. It is believed to belong to a man, likely from the Qing Dynasty, 1644 to 1912, based on his clothing, and is estimated to be around 300 years old. A unique feature of this mummy is that when the coffin was opened, the face of the body appeared almost normal, but after a few hours, the skin began to darken and a foul odor began to emanate. Gradually, the entire body's skin turned black. Dr. Lucas Nickel, an archaeologist, commented, "The embalmers tried to protect the body by placing it in a large and secure coffin. Furthermore, the coffin was lacquered and the mummy was covered with a layer of charcoal, which may have helped prevent bacterial invasion." Previously, in 2011, scientists studied a nearly perfectly preserved mummy found in Jiangsu Province, China. Despite being buried 2 meters deep, this mummy was exceptionally well preserved, from head to toe, with no signs of decay. According to Chinese researchers, this mummy is believed to be a woman, about 1.5 meters tall, buried during the Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644. Preliminary estimates suggest this mummy is nearly 700 years old and belonged to the nobility. Chinese archaeologists are conducting further research on this mysterious mummy to gain a better understanding of burial and embalming practices during the Qing Dynasty. Homosexuality 5,000 years ago. Many people, including some scientists, still believe that homosexuality is a product of modern civilization, with its growing trend becoming more widespread. But was this the case during the early stages of human society's development? It wasn't until 2011 that archaeologists from the Czech Republic were able to answer yes. Specifically, in 1964, scientists discovered historical evidence showing that the first homosexual couple appeared as early as 2400 BC. These were 2 royal manicurists from Egypt named Neank-Khnum and Khnum-Hotep. When they died, they were buried together as a couple. Upon discovering this tomb, scientists initially wondered if they were twin brothers buried together. They temporarily called this the twin tomb. However, as they continued their research, they realized the images in the tomb, depicting 2 men, more closely resembled those of a married couple than of brothers. Interestingly, Neank-Khnum had a wife. Some images of his wife were depicted on the tomb but were later erased for an unknown reason, and in some of the images, Khnum-Hotep was shown in the position of the wife. The names of Neank-Khnum and Khnum-Hotep were also written next to each other with the meaning, "together in life and in death." Scientists believe that this is truly surprising and may be a royal secret that was hidden. In that era, only pharaohs and their royal relatives were allowed to have tombs built, so it's likely that Neank-Khnum and possibly Khnum-Hotep were related to the royal family. Additionally, the terms gay or homosexual did not appear with their current meanings related to same-sex relationships until 1920. Before then, such relationships were hardly mentioned in history. If this is true, then concluding that homosexuality is a product of modern civilization is entirely incorrect, because it existed in ancient times. Homosexuality, along with bisexuality and heterosexuality, is one of the 3 main sexual orientations on the sexual orientation spectrum, with asexuality sometimes considered a 4th. According to science, sexual orientation cannot be chosen, as it is influenced by a complex interaction of innate factors and environmental influences. Homosexuality is an example of the diversity of sexual orientations in humans, and it does not cause negative psychological effects. To this day, many studies continue to explore the origins and history of homosexuality. It's a difficult question to answer. What do you think the answer might be? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel to not miss any other fascinating discoveries. Until next time, goodbye, and see you again.